Hey guys, so today's going to be a cold sores 101 video. I'm going to tell you how I personally treat and prevent my cold sore. So to start off, you may be wondering, what is a cold sore? A cold sore is a blister that usually forms around your mouth, and it's caused by the herpes simplex virus 1. Most people who suffer from cold sores don't know they have it because they contracted during early childhood. The actual outbreak occurs when the virus wakes up. It is triggered by something, and then it infects the cells around your mouth, which causes a visible contagious sore to appear. For people who suffer from cold sores, you have to know what triggers them, what wakes it up. For me personally, when abrupt changes in the weather occur, my outbreak begins. So the transition between fall and winter, and then from winter to spring, when it's really warm and then suddenly it gets really cold, or vice versa. For other people, it could be fluctuation in your hormones, a weak immune system, or a high dosage of arginine. Arginine is an amino acid that your body can make, and it's in a lot of foods we eat daily. I've had cold sores since I was in 6th grade. That was when I first had my first outbreak, and I usually treat it with just Abreva. When I was a freshman in high school, instead of becoming like pussy and like little bumps, it became really red and rashy and itchy, which is another like symptom. So I went to my doctor and she prescribed me eczema medicine, and that worked pretty well. That helped it that year. And then come my 10th grade, sophomore year, I had my worst outbreak ever. It broke my heart. It made my confidence drop, and it was just extremely embarrassing. For all cold sore sufferers, you know how embarrassing it is because it's visible, it's red, it's puffy, it's disgusting, not cute, not attractive. It's just something you want to avoid at all costs. But of course the virus is something that you can't destroy completely. It'll come back year after year, but there are some things you can do, precautions that you can take to make sure it's not as bad as it was the previous year or previous time. So for me, this year, because my outbreak was so bad, I did a lot of research on cold sores, what caused it, what you can do to prevent it, what are the things you can eat, what are some creams, what are some products, anything possible. So for me, what I did was, first I looked at like all the products, and in the past years, I used a lot of the over-the-counter products you have, and for me, Abreva is the best. Hands down, with all the other products on the market, Abreva is the best. Although it is the most costly, it used to be, I believe, like $20, but now it's gone down to $15 at some stores. So I got this for $15, and it's really small, but it's amazing how crazy it works. In my research, I learned that hydrogen peroxide can actually help. What it does is it gives oxygen to the pustules, and it helps it breathe. It opens it up. And not only does hydrogen peroxide help with cold sores, it can also help with acne. So this is 3% hydrogen peroxide wipes. And the last thing I did in my little process was I bought a bottle of Lysine Pills. And in the bottle there were 100 capsules, and I used the whole thing up in 1 week. Lysine is an amino acid that your body cannot make. Therefore, you have to take it, like get it somehow. And usually we get it through the foods we eat. The amino acid arginine helps produce the herpes virus, and it helps it get powerful and stronger and have something to work off counteract that. And because your body can't make it, I had to intake it. So I took a lot of pills throughout that whole week. I used 100 pills in 1 week. And the thing is, because your body doesn't make it, you can't really overdose on it. But there is always a limit for everything. So I took about 10 to 15 a day, before I ate, when I woke up, after I ate, right before I went to bed, all the time. The more arginine in your body, the longer your outbreak will usually last. You know what foods have a lot of arginine. And for me, it was extremely heartbreaking when I found out that chocolate has a really high dose of it. Because when I wake up, the first thing in the morning, I'm thinking, I need some chocolate. Like, it is ridiculous. I love chocolate so much. So I gave up chocolate that whole week. It was terrible. So that is how I treat it. What I did was 3 times a day I would use this process. I would take my pills. Before I put on my Abreva, I would wipe the area with my hydrogen peroxide wipes, and that would open up the area and let the Abreva sink in very well. And I did that before Thanksgiving break let out is when my outbreak began, and I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen it on anyone, and it just happened to happen to me. On the website, it describes a cold sore outbreak in 5 stages, and during my outbreak, I documented every day with pictures so that I could see my progress. And I noticed that my pictures aligned with the stages on the website. I'm going to describe to you the different stages, and there are 5 of them. The first is the early stage. That is when the itching and burning may occur. The area becomes red and swollen because of inflammatory reaction to the virus. The next is the blister stage. The body is trying to fight off the virus, so it sends white blood cells to the rescue. While this is happening, your cold sore is being filled with a fluid that contains millions of viral particles. The third stage is the ulcer stage. It's the most painful. This is when your blisters are bursting and it reveals a shallow ulcer, which is also known as an open sore. There's a ring of inflammation around the area. The fourth stage is gabbing, and this is when your cold sore is drying out. A golden brown crust might appear while the scab is shrinking. Painful cracks may occur that might bleed, and itching, and you may also experience itching and burning. The last stage is the healing stage. And this is when your scab is coming off, it's flaking, and your skin might remain pink or red, and in my case, it's actually a little brown. If you saw it in person, you might just think it's slight discoloration, but it's right here, and it's slightly darker than my skin tone, but it's barely noticeable. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope it was informative and it will help you in the future. If you have any tips or questions, please comment below. I would love to help you, and I'd love to know your techniques. I hope the pictures didn't gross you out too much. It's the real hard truth, and I was lucky enough that my outbreak happened the Friday before Thanksgiving break. So while I was documenting, I was just at home all week. I refused to go anywhere. I just sat at home and taking these pictures, taking my pills, going through my little system very methodically. So thank you again.